Tenenbaum Shabbat service, sort of. You heard should have been this morning. The kids were, it couldn't be loud enough. The kids were making so much noise. Beautiful noise. How's that volume? Too loud? How's the volume? Too loud or okay? All right, we'll see. Right. Who should we have light? I'm not sure.
So it's lovely to see everyone tonight, and a special welcome to our friends from Jesuit High School who are here and visiting. And for those who may not know, thank you, Greg, Jesuit's been coming 20 years? Something like that, as part of their sort of, world religion class and unit on Judaism, and come and attend a service. I just finished speaking with them for an hour, and one of our own, Priscilla Costner, for years has been going there and teaching 2 different sessions on Judaism as well. So it's really always a pleasure when you're here, and I want to let you all know and welcome everyone. So thank you. I want to call up Mark and Jennifer to light the calendar, to light the Shabbat candles. Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehalikneh shel Shabbat. Thank you. With that, we welcome in the Sabbath, the Shabbat, and we'll turn and welcome in not just the Sabbath itself, but sort of the angelic presences of Shabbat on page 5, and Cantor will lead us in Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
So one of the things we did not discuss in our session is that Jewish prayer is in Hebrew, and not all American Jews know Hebrew. But some of us are able to decode, meaning read, so to pronounce the words, but maybe not understand the Hebrew word for word. And it's also transliterated in this prayer book for this service in particular. You'll find the prayers in red letters, often at the bottom of the page, so that everyone can follow along as well.
It's also sung, which is not always the case.
Right, it's also sung. So we're going to continue now on page 11, Lechu Neranena, an invitation to come and sing to God.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, naria, לצור אישנו, נקדנו הפניו ותודה. נריה, נריה, לצור אישנו, בזמירו נריה לו. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, לכו, 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 לכו נרננה. כי אל גדול אדוני, ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים, אשר בידו מחקרי הארץ, ותועפות ההרים לו. לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, או לכו, לכו, נרננה, אשר לא היה והוא עשהו, ויבשת ידיו יצרו. בואו נשתחווה ונכרע, נברכה לפני אדוני עושנו. לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, לכו, 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 לכו נרננה. כי הוא אלוהינו, ואנחנו אמר איתו, וצאן ידו, היום בקולו תשמעו. לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, לכו, 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 לכו נרננה. אל תקשו לבבכם עם מריבה, כיום מסע במדבר, אשר ניסוני אבותיכם, בחנוני גם ראו פועלי. לכו, 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 לכו נרננה, או לכו, 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 לכו נרננה. הרבים שנקול בדור, ומרם תועל לבבם, לא ידעו דרכי, אשר נשבעתי ואפי, עם בון אל מנוחתי.
I want us just to turn to page 13 for a second. This is Psalm 96, which we customarily do not sing or pray in this community. But there's a little snippet by Levi Yitzhak of Berdichev, a early second-generation Hasidic master. because Psalm 96 starts with Shir Adonai Shir Hadas, sing to God, sing to Adonai a new song. And what Levi Yitzhak says, you can see it on the left-hand margin, at each stage of our religious development, as our sense of God's wonder deepens, we sing differently to God, we sing a new song. This is such a profound and important insight, right? That we're not supposed to remain in the same place in our relationship to God or the tradition or prayer, right? We're supposed to deepen ourselves, and as we do so, the way we connect also moves along. We have a very different set of melodies, right, that we sing downstairs in foundation school, because it's considered that those melodies are ones that young minds, for example, or voices, can gravitate to. So wherever you are in your Jewish journey or your spiritual journey as a human being, right, it's not the end. And we have that opportunity to learn and grow, and that's an invitation from Levi Yitzhak to do just that. We'll continue page 21 with Mizmor.
Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nelim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai be'adrat kodesh, kol Adonai וירקידם כמו עגל לבנון וסיריון כמו בן רמים כל אדוני חוצם להבות אש כל אדוני יכין מבר יכין אדוני מבר קדש כל אדוני יכול לילות ויחשוף יערות ובחלות כולו אומר כבוד אדוני על המבול ישב וישב אדוני מלך לעולם אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום איי 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 איי
And let's jump forward in time 2,000 years. We've been in the book of Psalms, right? And we're going to jump into late Jewish history, 1600s or so. We're in the holy city of Sfat. Shlomo Alkabetz takes ancient Psalms, Bible verses, and builds it into this very powerful prayer, Psalm, Lecha Dodi. So on 23, first two stanzas. On 25, the final two stanzas.
I thought I had the melody I wanted to do, but now I'm not so sure. Okay, look again.
And Lecha Dodi,
I take my
has so many different melodies that are arranged to it. There are some very ancient tunes that sometimes are sung by Jews across all parts of the Jewish world. Sometimes we call those Sinai, meaning they come from Mount Sinai by Moses. Probably not, but they're very, very old and before we necessarily have the history. And others really are adapted. There's a continual creation of music, and L'Chadodi has been one of those compositions that just invites a lot of musical creativity. So let's see what Cantor will bring to us this evening.
It's a very traditional one.
לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך לך דודי דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי. על יד איש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרן בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, נקבלה. שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת שלום ומבורך.
Please be seated. At this point, it's customary for us to include the condolence prayer for part of our congregational family, those who suffered a loss in the last week or in the last weeks. So to the families of Prudence Steiner, Elisa Stevens, Mark Atlas, Larry Meyer, to all of you we say, Hamakom Yenechem Etchem Betok Sha'ar Avleit Zion V'Yerushalayim. May God bring you comfort wherever you are, wherever you mourn. We're going to continue now, the following page, 27, with the psalm for the Sabbath day. And as Cantor gets the music, we have that because traditionally different psalms in the ancient temple were connected to each day of the week. They were sung to different tunes. There was a whole host of instruments, ancient instruments, most of which we've lost and no longer know what they sound like. Those scholars are still trying to reassemble them and figure them out.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להוד ולזמר לשמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, טוב להודות לאדוני. עלי עשור ולנבל, עלי היגיון בכינור, כי שימחתני אדוני בפעוליך, במעשה ידיך רנן, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני. תחסי לו יבין את זו בברוך רשעים כמו הסבס. אתה מרום לעולם אדוני. אם תשמענה אוזני. Middle of page 28. צדיק אתה אמר יפרח כארז בלבנון, יזכה שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו, עוד ינובון בשיבה, דשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד, כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולתה בו, אדוני מלך ולבש. עדותיך נמנו מאוד לביתך נא וקודש אדוני לאורך ימים.
Thank you, Cantor. So a question. Can the walls of a home carry not just mold and physical decay, but also spiritual malaise? Can a home be sick in the way a person can? That's what the Torah claims in this week's Parsha, a provocative claim that holds special resonance for my family, who are in the process of moving, but also speaks to all of us. For if a home can be sick, that also means that a home can be healthy and thriving. None of us can control the state of the outer world, but there are things we can do to ensure that our homes are healthy. As we'll come to see, people who live in healthy homes tend to be more contented. So my family's been living through this set of Torah lessons in an embodied experiential way. As we ready our current house for sale, decluttering, touching up, replacing broken light switches, we find ourselves living in a space that's not quite ours. There's a subtle disorientation, as though the house has begun to detach itself from us even before we hand over the keys. The walls look the same. Well, okay, they're a different color now, but the soul of the place has shifted. And one moment crystallized this shift. A decade ago, we painted our home in soft grays, a palette then at the height of design fashion, creating a sense of both calm and coziness. As we prepared to sell, our painters returned to apply more current colors. Apparently, gray is gone and beige is back. The painters did an excellent job, except for one heartbreaking mistake. Our dining room window ledge and surround, which this big picture window had always remained a beautiful natural wood, got painted over by them. And seeing it covered in white semi-gloss felt like a physical blow. The wood had offered a small, quiet moment of beauty and warmth, a detail that for us made the house feel deeply like home. The new buyers will never know it was there, but we did. Why did it matter so much? Why did it feel that the home lost part of its vitality simply because a windowsill was painted? So that moment invited deeper reflection, a detail, a surface, a texture. These can all anchor us emotionally. It's what Italian psychologist Elvira Cicognani calls psychological home. Unlike the physical structure of a building, psychological home refers to the sense of safety, selfhood, and belonging that emerges when we're deeply attached to the space we inhabit. It's a fusion of emotional, behavioral, and identity-forming relationships between people and their spaces. In Cicognani's study, she found that psychological home is not merely correlated with happiness, it actively predicates life satisfaction. And it makes sense intuitively. Some homes instantly feel warm when you step into them, right? The light, the arrangement of furniture, the sounds, the smell, they just resonate. Other spaces, even if outwardly tidy, feel cold or strangely off, right? Something's missing, but it's hard to name. Cicognani and others have shown that this something is often rooted in whether the inhabitants have had the opportunity and the inclination to shape their environment to reflect themselves. Psychological home requires continuity, investment, personalization, and a deep emotional bond. And this is where biophilia comes in. Biology, nature, philia, love. The human tendency to seek connection with nature. Biophilic design acknowledges that we feel more at ease in environments that feature natural light, flowing forms, living materials, all those elements that remind us that we're part of the larger natural world. We're not separate from it. In contrast, spaces stripped of these qualities often leave us anxious, unsettled, disconnected. When we lose our bond with a home, whether through stress, conflict, neglect, or upheaval, its atmosphere shifts. It becomes emotionally porous. Sometimes it even feels sick. Remarkably, the Torah seems to anticipate this condition. In Parashat Mitzorah, we read about a strange affliction called Sa'at Habayit, the plague of the house. Mold-like blotches appear on the walls. The priest is summoned, not a stonemason. The priest doesn't tear down the house, not immediately. Instead, he inspects, he waits, he returns, and only if the blotches spread is demolition ordered. So this odd ritual has intrigued and confused our commentators for a long time. Why should a house get a diagnosis? Why would a priest rather than a carpenter be dispatched? But if we take seriously the notion that space carries both spiritual and emotional imprint, that homes can become psychologically ill, then the Torah's wisdom begins to surface, to gleam even. A house, too, can fall out of alignment with its purpose. The damage might not begin in the structure, but in the souls within. And the priest's job, like a therapist or caring witness, is not just to assess stone and plaster, but to ask, what's really going on here? When walls speak. Leviticus 14:34 declares, when you come into the land of Canaan, which I give you for possession, and I place a plague of Sara'at upon a house. That verse, right, about this plague that inhabits walls. And the Midrash wrestles with this strange verse. And Rashi, who cites it, suggests that the affliction might actually be a blessing in disguise. Maybe there's treasure inside those walls, and when you take it down, you'll discover it. Yet other sages see the house's illness as a moral indictment. The very walls have absorbed toxic energy. This ancient insight might strike us as mystical, but modern sensibilities offer an analogy. We know that environments reflect and shape behavior. In the words of environmental psychology, spaces are not neutral, they're mirrors. A home steeped in conflict or dishonesty can, over time, come to feel heavy or cold. Just as joy can enliven a space, ongoing negativity can taint it. Sara'at on a home becomes a metaphor. When moral and spiritual decay become embedded in our environments, the damage eventually reveals itself. Walls, we might say, learn to speak. They speak of what they've witnessed, and when they speak, we must listen. It's not limited to households. Institutions, governments, and even sacred spaces can mask their fractures behind polished facades. But moral rot, if ignored, will surface, sometimes in public scandal, sometimes in private heartbreak. We act surprised, but the structure was quietly cracking for years. Still, even then, the Torah doesn't call for immediate demolition. The priest doesn't condemn on first sight. He observes, he pauses, he returns, and the sacred rhythm of attention and re-evaluation suggests that decay need not mean doom. Just as Sara'at can be a sign, not a punishment, but a potential healing, so too can our homes and institutions be restored if we're willing to see what they're showing us. And perhaps most importantly, the goal of this entire process is return. The one afflicted is eventually brought back. The home once cleansed is re-inhabited. Healing is possible, but it begins with honesty, with attention, with listening to what our spaces are trying to say. A great many people I speak to or observe are feeling unsettled, dissatisfied, or frightened. Our lives feel scattered. Our screens draw us outward, but rarely inward. And when our world feels unstable, the very first thing we should ask is, what kind of home have we built? And I don't mean a dream kitchen or a remodel. I'm not talking about real estate value. I'm talking about psychological home, about what we bring to a space to make it whole. Because when we lose that bond, when we fail to nurture the soul of our space, something in us also drifts. But the opposite is equally true. When we invest attention, values, creativity, and care into the places we dwell, we create sanctuaries, not show places, but sacred ground. You don't need wealth to do this, you need presence. A house begins to heal when we fill it with gratitude, forgiveness, and small rituals of togetherness. It can be a worn table where people talk late into the night. It can be a windowsill left unpainted because it reminds us of who we are. It can be the act of pausing to light the Shabbat candles, not because the house is ready, but because we are. The Torah imagines that a house can get sick, but it also imagines that it can be made well again. The difference is in whether we're willing to look, to tend, to return. So let us each become caretakers of our spaces, making room for beauty, memory, honesty, and growth. Because when our homes are whole, we're better equipped to face a broken world. May we be blessed to dwell in spaces that reflect our deepest values and our highest hopes. And may we become, in turn, the kind of people whose presence helps heal whatever walls we inhabit. Shabbat Shalom. I want to invite you to rise for the call to worship, the Baruch Hu, on page 39.
Baruchu et Adonai mevorach.
Baruch Adonai mevorach leolam vaed.
Baruch Adonai mevorach.
Shebu Moavim. The little red sideways arrow, bottom of 39.
That's a technical term. ומעביר יום מביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המרעיב הרבים. And turn page 40, Ahavat Olam, and this requires a change of glasses. When you get to my age, you'll understand. I want to sing the one that I introduced not long ago, which incorporates the melody from the Spanish Portuguese in Montreal and my own composition. Ahavat Olam Bet Israel עמך אהבת, אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה, תורה, תורה ומצוות, חוקים, חוקים ומשפטים, תורה, תורה, תורה ומצוות אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, נשיח בחוקיך. תורה, תורה, תורה ומצוות, חוקים, חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. יהם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. תורה, תורה, תורה ומצוות, חוקים, חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
Continue with the Shema, our central declaration of faith, page 41.
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה. וגם שמעו תשמעו את הישר אנחנו נצא אתכם. אהבה. ויאמר אדוני של לאמור, דבר בני ישראל מטר עליהם, ועשו ציצית לכתפי ידיהם, וחרתה בנתנו, ציצית לכנף.
למען ידעו ימיכם ויביניכם את אז.
תזיה.
ויאמר נא אלוהים של לאמור, דבר.
ומלכותו ורצון כברו עליהם, משה ובנימין בני ישראל, לכנו שירה ושמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר וקודש נורא תהילות, אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, יפדה אדוני את יעקב, גלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גל ישראל.
One of the things that a home that's filled with love and a sense of security provides is a place where it feels safe to lay our heads down. Hashkivenu is that prayer which asks for just that sense of God's presence and protection as we lie down and when we rise up. Page 45.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, ועמידנו מלכנו לחיים, לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, 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 ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך, מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך, נהגן בעדנו, ויסר מעלינו אויב נבן וחרב, ורב ויגון, השכיבנו לשלום, שלום, והסר שטן מלפנינו, לפנינו, לפנינו, ומאחרינו, אחרינו, 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 ובצל כנפיך תסתירנו, 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 כי אל שומרנו, 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 ומצילנו אתה, כי אל המלך חנון ורחום אתה, השכיבנו, השכיבנו לשלום, שלום, ושמור צאתנו בואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו וכל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
We rise as we commemorate Shabbat Vishamru, top of 46.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועל מה דיברה כילותה וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. ישמר רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ותדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמך תקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן.
We'll continue with the Amidar, our personal prayer, recited in hushed tones, page 47 through 52, or as your heart prompts you.
עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומה, יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. לה 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 עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. יאללה לה לה לה
Beautiful.
used to think that was an American tune. I'd never heard it growing up, but it's an Israeli one.
Oh, well, it does its work, which is really to give us a sense of peace experienced through joy, right? And, New York kid moves out west, and I lived in New Mexico after college, et cetera. So over the years, I've attended like a lot of powwows, right, which are these gatherings where some of the different Native American tribes would come together, and there's just like such an infectious energy in those places. The Shalosh Regalim, the 3 pilgrimage festivals, used to be like that, where everyone in ancient Israel would come to Jerusalem, right, and celebrate. And it's this powerful reminder that homes are not just built of walls, but they're built with the energy and the attention and the emotion that we bring to something. And one of the really most powerful emotions that we sometimes neglect, I feel, is Simcha, is joy. We need joy. It is one of the strongest structures, and we can practice it like anything else. And one of the ways that we've taken to do it here is, at the beginning of each month, the first Friday of a new month, is to celebrate Simcha Shabbat. And we do that by inviting everyone up here to join with Cantor Me, everyone who has some sort of happy moment in this month of May. Maybe it's a birthday. If you have a birthday in May, come on down. Maybe it's an anniversary. Maybe you just completed stripping your painted wood windowsill back to wood. I don't know. There's so many things that help us tune into Simcha and joy, and it's really important to come on up. Huh?
No, there's more.
No. And if you're visiting from Jesuit, you're allowed to take part in the joy. So if you've got a May birthday, come on up and incentivize you afterwards. There's cake, which is its own form of joy, at least for those of you who eat wheat. Huh? Hopefully graduated. Yes, indeed. Awesome. Yes, bar mitzvah definitely counts. How's that Devar coming? All right, that's a reason for joy right there.
All right, do you want to, well, so we're going to do the priestly blessing.
Yes.
For everyone. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha ve'yishmerecha Yevarechecha. May good things come to you ve'yishmerecha. May everything you do be a dream come true. Ya'er, Ya'er, Adonai, panav elecha, vichuneka, yevarechecha. May good things come to you, ve'yishmerecha. May everything you do be a dream come true. Isa, Isa, Adonai, panav elecha, ve'yasem lecha shalom, yevarechecha. May good things come to you, ve'yishmerecha. May everything you do be a dream come true. Yevarechecha, from me to you.
And there's no greater, well, there's one of the great joys is when you get a present designed just for you. That particular version was created today by Cantor Tone as a new Birkat Kohanim prayer for each of you. So remember, joy, sometimes it just happens and it wells up in us, and other times we have to seek it, but it's there for the taking, and it's moments like this before a child enters adulthood, or celebrating an anniversary or a birthday or graduation, hopefully, as she put it.
That's how he said it, so.
Right, which are moments that need to be celebrated. You've all heard me say it, but it's always worth repeating. My grandfather said, in life, the surus chases you, so you better chase after the simchas. In life, bad stuff happens on its own, but we have the power to choose and to seek out the blessings and the good. So I just want to wish you all, for whatever reason you're up here, just lots of good stuff that extends beyond May into June, on and on and on. Mazel tov, congratulations. And together let us say, the Ken Yiratzon, I'll recite the blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
כן, יהי רצון.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
כן, יהי רצון.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless and protect you. May God's countenance shine upon you. And may God bestow kindness upon you. May God's countenance be lifted towards you. And may God grant you peace. Amen. Mazel tov.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה
Right into Kaddish Shalem, full cottage, page 54.
יגדל ויגדש שמר רבה, ואלמד יברא כאילו תאוניך מלכותה, בחיי חורף ומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב מרו, אמן. יהא שמר רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ותדן ויתן לב ויתהלל, שמי תקודשה בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. תתקבל סוטהון ובאותהון לכל ישראל, קודם אבהון דבשמיא אמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו וכל ישראל אמרו אמן. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו וכל ישראל, וכל יושבי תבל ואמרו amen.
And we'll rise for Kiddush, blessing over wine, page 55. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'atzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu, zikaron lemaseh v'reishit, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, אותנו קידשת מכל העמים. ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
We'll remain standing. Aleinu 56.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ששמו מסדרץ. לפניך אדוני אלוהינו. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated as we pause to pray for the hostages still in captivity, as Cantor leads us in Achenu, which you can find on your Shabbat handout.
Achenu kol bet Yisrael, Achenu kol bet Yisrael, הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. המקום ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה ומאפלה לאורה ומשיבול לגאולה שתה בגלה ובזמן קריב. המקום ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה ומאפלה לאורה ומשיבול לגאולה שתה בגלה ובזמן קריב. ונאמר אמן.
My mentor, Rabbi Alan Lew, in his book on Jewish meditation, once said that joy, define joy as any emotion that is felt fully. Any emotion that's felt fully is joy. And it's not an obvious definition, but when we get out of our own way and just are present with ourselves, a certain weight that accompanies something can be lightened, and being able to really feel ourselves fully, our lives, is itself a source of joy. It's impossible to experience joy in those moments when we don't let ourselves feel completely. And so part of the Jewish tradition at the end of the service is to pause to recite the mourner's Kaddish and to allow ourselves the fullness of that feeling as well. So I want to invite all those who are in a period of mourning or observing a yard site to rise, and I'll pause and look at you, and if you feel comfortable, you can share the name of the person for whom, or persons for whom you're reciting Kaddish.
My son Justin. My parents, Jack and Bernice Rusnikoff. My mom, Anna Trudnobelsky. Ross Wilkins. Hi, Jackson. My brother Larry Meyer, my grandmother Bernice Freeman. Randy Grossman. Reed Schneider. Larry Moore. My brother David. My father is Robert Watsky. Parents, Bishop, Stella Bishop. My dad is
All those that appear in the morning on page 58. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemeh rabah v'yomad divra kutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayei chon v'yomei chon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kari v'yamru amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevarak leolam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha brichu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiram b'yoma v'yimru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen, Oseh Shalom B'mamav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru Amen. May you all find not only solace and comfort, but also certain memories that spark that joy and remind you of the person's meaning and the pleasurable moments that you were able to enjoy together. We have a few announcements. First of all, Steve Serkin, would you just stand up for a second? Steve has been really active trying to encourage all of us to vote in the World Zionist Congress elections, which close in just 2 more days on May 4th. And this is, you know, we don't always have a lever to change the world. But when we do have an opportunity to shape the world in the way we want, why wouldn't we take that opportunity? Every couple of years is when the World Zionist Organization holds it. It allocates this year, $2.1 billion to different causes, agencies in Israel. And for us as Masorti, as conservative Jews, it's so important that we make sure that our expression of Judaism, a Judaism of love and openness and inclusion that recognizes men and women and other genders all equally as part of God's children and provides opportunities of prayer and synagogues, if that's what you care about, then it's really important for us to take the moment to register and to vote for the conservative Merkaz slate and make sure that those dollars go to what we care about. And if we don't do that, then shame on us as a community, and may we remember that we don't have a right to complain if we didn't take action when we had the opportunity. So look at it, at the very least, you get the joy of complaining afterwards if you don't like what's happening, but please participate. It's really important. Next weekend, oh my goodness, where's Brian? I saw him there. Yeah. We've got our Amir Tibon, our 2025 Yoni Shore Scholar in Residence weekend. I'm so looking forward to having Amir here. Randy, it's so great that you're already here, and I'm looking forward to spending time with you. Amir's book, The Gates of Gaza, is such a powerful, powerful, and important work to help you understand the Middle East, the history between Israel and Palestine, and also the horrendous events on October 7th that impacted Amir and his family personally. Plus, there's free food if you register, right, Brian? So, I mean, who can say no to that? That's seeking joy. We also have a Lag BaOmer potluck Thursday, May 15th, as part of our CNS Israeli American programs. The Old Spaghetti Factory, if you like spaghetti. There's a fundraiser for Foundation School, May 6th. Let's see what else.
Rabbi, you know there's a Eurovision Song Contest?
Yeah, I am well aware of that.
There's this hilarious Italian song in which he says, life is like spaghetti. It's hard until you make it.
Beautiful.
Isn't that cute?
That is very cute. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you know, when you throw it, if you don't cook it and you throw it against the wall, it doesn't stick, it bounces. There's so much else going on. I can't really cover it all, but I hope that you'll look. We got Men's Club Sisterhood Shabbat Friday, May 16th. May 14th, Tichon's end-of-year ceremony. That's always a highlight to just get to hear from our kids as they graduate our religious school, high school, but also get to hear from all the kids. It's just always just feels good. A lot of other things happening.
May 18th, we don't want to undersell that event.
We don't need it, right. So May 18th is our annual, every spring we have a fundraiser. It is one of the most important forms of financial support for the synagogue to ensure we can keep bringing you all of those programs that I mentioned and so many others. We can't run, we can't meet our budget, we can't pay salaries, we can't take care of people without that. We always look for a different way of marking it, and this year it's saying goodbye to me. So if you like me, come and celebrate that way. If you don't like me, it's a great way to come and say thank good riddance, but come and support the synagogue no matter what. It's really, really important. So with that said, we are going to conclude with...
Now, I'm going to make a change.
Yes.
For Yom Ha'atzmaut, this morning we did some special songs for the kids, and I thought we would do something as well for us.
Okay.
It was Yom Ha'atzmaut Wednesday night, Thursday, so I think we're going to...
And so after Fan Cantor finishes this, he'll make motzi, the blessing over bread, and then there is cake, I believe, somewhere out there. And so I hope you'll join for Simcha Shabbat.
Mia, did you have any of the cake yet? There's still cake. Good.
Okay.
All right, so I might do, so we could put away your sidurim. Bashana hava'a nesheva la mirpeset v'nisbor tziporim nodedot. ילדים בחושה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. Now here are words that anyone can sing. La 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 בשנה הבאה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה.
Beautiful. Cantor will now set his guitar down, wash his hands, and bake some bread. Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ.
Amen. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Let them eat challah bread or cake, both tonight. Mazel tov.
All right, Shabbat shalom. Sûrement un morceau, s'il te plaît.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
I'm playing it. She's enjoying it. Yeah. An original one? So if I'm writing for a service, it can't be, okay, I need something in this musical mode. If it's part of the service, there are rules of what modes are in the service. Okay, so it has to have that. And I'm usually in this mood that's not live. Should I restart here? Here, I was looking for something live with it. You have to beat any mode. And I just thought, let me make it more contemporary, modern sounding, which to me is anything like the 80s not. And something I can read English too. Because of what how we do here.
You're going to get your dad later for that joke?
Yeah.
I don't know what happens to clean up. So it just comes out. Okay. So I wrote the words.